Hello everyone and welcome back to part 15 of my Learn Ethical Hacking course. In this part I'm going to show you how to generate an undetectable backdoor. This backdoor will not be detected by any antivirus that's currently on the market. It's quite dangerous, so this is the reason I'm about to say that. This video is for educational and ethical purposes only. I'm not responsible for any damages you cause. Everything is your responsibility. This is for people who are interested in the cybersecurity field and want to know how this is created and made, and also the methods on how to prevent stuff like this. So I've got Terminator up here and I've split the panel or the terminal in two. The first line of code we need is the GitHub link. So if I paste this, it's going to execute straight away, but it's in the description. So essentially I'll clear this, clear, and go up to. So essentially all I need to do is type this. Oh, not that. Don't know why I didn't clear that. Anyway, it's the same thing. So if I just scroll down here, all you need to do is type git clone and then this URL. So you can type it or go to the description and just highlight it and copy and paste it into the terminal. Click enter and it should in fact clone this repo. So Hercules is the framework's name. All credit goes to the original creators of this framework. All the links for them will be in the description. So once you've cloned this, essentially git clone basically means we're using the git command, and the clone command is essentially fetch every file that's inside this repository, so inside Hercules, and copy it to my local machine. So if we go to our file manager of files, in the home directory, you can see a new folder or file called Hercules. So it's right here for me. You just got to look for it, and then we can go inside this. Next, what you want to do is you want to open the README MD, and we'll open with other application. Open it with LeafPad. So if LeafPad isn't here, just click View All Applications and find LeafPad in the drop-down list. But mine's here, so I'm just going to click on that and open it. So now we can read the README file. If you scroll down, it says here usage, and just above usage is some commands. So we need these two commands. So the next one we need to do is go get and github.com faith. Is that faith? No, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Fatty H. I really don't know. I thought it was faith, but it's not. Anyway, this will be in the description as well, so I can just minimize that for now and copy this. If I copy and then paste it inside the separate terminal window, now you can paste it here in the same one, it doesn't matter. If you're using terminal, just the standard terminal application, then you can just keep the same terminal window open, it doesn't matter. I'm just using Terminator, and that has more features than the standard terminal, but it works exactly the same. So once you've typed that and you click enter, it will fetch go get github.com and download it. Once you've downloaded this, and if an error appears, now mostly, or in fact it probably will for the first time installing this, especially this line here, it will say error. I think there's a problem with Go, the Go language created by Google. If you get that error, all you need to do is you need to type apt get install golang. If you type that and install it, so if we click enter, it's going to install the Golang package. It's already installed for me, so that's why it's saying 0 upgraded and 0 newly installed. Once everything's newly installed for you, then you can go, if you click the up arrow twice for me, so it goes back up to that line. If you click enter, it should install it, and when you click enter, it will install really quickly. It only takes a few seconds, and then it will add a new line. So that's when you know it's completed, when a new line appears like this. I'm just going to zoom in so you can see this a little bit better. So essentially what we've done is, if you get an error when you type go get github.com and get color, this one here, then all you need to do is type this new line, and once it's installed, you can retype this line here, and then it will install correctly. So I'm just going to type clear now because we've got color. The last one we need to do is we need to type go run setup.go, And to do this, we need to be inside the Hercules directory. So if we go to Hercules, so if we type cd, in fact I'll type ls so we can see the file. So if we look for Hercules, which is this one here, so we just type cd Hercules, click enter, and then type go. I think it's go run setup. There we go. Go run setup. .go. Click enter. It will run the setup. It will install everything like so. Make this a little bit bigger. It's going to clone, and then it will say setup completed successfully. It'll open a new terminal window, and then inside this terminal window, to actually start the framework, all you need to do is type Hercules. Click enter, and then the Hercules framework will start to run. So we can close out of that terminal and close them terminal windows. We can make this one bigger now and zoom in a little bit. In fact, we can't zoom in with this framework, so I'll just make the window as large as possible. I apologize about the text being really small. Let me try and open a new terminal and see if I can zoom in on this Terminator. There we go. It's because it's in the terminal. This one's Terminator, so I'm going to close out of this new terminal window and use Terminator. Now you'll be thinking, why have you just closed the terminal? How do you open Hercules again? All you need to do, because it's installed in the root up here inside this file explorer, if you look, it's in the home. So this is all root, and you cannot change this directory. So you cannot drag this folder out onto the desktop. It's got to stay in the root home directory. So just don't change this directory for this file. And once it's installed, you can literally type Hercules from anywhere in the system. So if I just zoom in and type Hercules, I think it's H, I'm useless at spelling, so Hercules, click enter, and there we go, it runs, and now I can zoom in and out. The reason I couldn't is because it opened an actual terminal window, and it looks a bit stupid now. What's going on? There we go. Yeah, the reason it didn't zoom in was because it opened a terminal window and I haven't set the scroll mouse wheel to zoom in. Anyway, we've got the terminal Hercules framework open now. So let's get started. All we need to do is type generated payload, click 1, so select 1 because this is the index for generate payload. We want to use HTTPS. You can use TCP or HTTP, it doesn't really matter. We use interpretive reverse HTTPS, click 3. Then press enter, or type 3 and then press enter. The AV evasion score is 8 out of 10. We're selecting this payload, so we need to set the L host for this payload. The L host is the IP address of your Kali Linux machine. If you haven't watched how to generate a basic payload in the previous few videos, then I recommend you go and do so, because I'm not going to explain everything here. So it's 192.168.110.128. So to find the IP address of your system, all you need to do is you need to type ifconfig in a terminal window. Click, ifconfig. And if you go up to your ETH0 or whatever wireless card or wireless network you're using, so you might have WLAN 0 if you're using a wireless card, it's iNet. And it's this right here, so that's why I've typed in the hello host, click enter. The L port can be 8080. So for L ports, I recommend 8080 or 8081. You can also use 4444 as well. And so decide which one you want to use. Make sure no other device is actually using this port. Click enter. Do you want to add persistence? I can close out of this window here, so I'll close out of that one. Do you want to add persistence? We'll type no. Persistence is basically when they execute this payload on their computer, whether they turn it off and back on, it will still be infected. So obviously that's useful if you want to completely take over their system. Every time they turn it back on, you can listen for a connection again. I'm going to say no for this. Click enter. Migrate function no. Click enter. Here we can enter the name. So the name for this can be not a virus. Click enter. It doesn't have to be called not a virus, it can be called anything you want. We're not going to compress it either. So it's generated the payload, not a virus.exe. And if you go to your, sorry, not terminal, open the file explorer again and go back to the home. Sorry, I thought it was inside the Hercules file then. So on the home, you should see a payload. So as you can see here, not a virus.exe. If you look here on the terminal, it says payload saved at home, not a virus.exe. So I've got not a virus.exe. And to test if this is undetectable, we'll go on the internet and we'll search for a online scanner. So I recommend using no distribute. So no distribute, click enter. This will not distribute on reverse engineer your file, which is important. Then all we need to do is we need to drag and drop the file into here and click scan. So this will scan for the file. And this is going to scan this file compared to every or the most common antiviruses that are on the market now. I forgot what it's out of. Oh, I think it's 35. There we go. These are the most common antiviruses, the most popular. And we'll see if this not a virus.exe actually bypasses them. Let's have a look. It's just generating it now. It'll load shortly. It does take a little while because it's scanning pretty much every antivirus. There we go. Detected by 0 out of 39. Sorry, it's not 35, it's 39. So it's got a hash, it's got an MD5, and these are undetectable. So if you scroll down, as you can see, it says clean, 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 clean. And it's called not a virus, even though it's a backdoor. So you can listen for a connection. You could send this to a Windows machine. You can upload this, send as a download. You can bind it to an image. You could spoof the extension. So I've got videos for all of them in this course. In fact, that was the previous video. So if you haven't watched them, I recommend you go and do so. But that was it for the video. We've just generated a backdoor that is undetectable by pretty much every antivirus there is. If you look here, Kaspersky can't detect it, McAfee, Bullguard, Bitdefender, even Malwarebytes can't detect it. AVG3, that's a shit one, so it doesn't really matter. And Norton can't even detect it. So there we go. We've just generated a backdoor that's undetectable. Very dangerous virus. Well, it's not a virus.exe, so it's not a virus. But there we go, that's it. We generated one. That's how to. Very simple. If you don't understand the L port and L host, then you're just watching this video because you found it. I recommend going through the course from part 10 or 11, and you will understand it a lot better. Go and watch Listening for a Connection. In fact, I'll put it in the description. So after you've generated the backdoor and it's undetectable, go into the description and find the link for the Listening for Connections, and you will understand the L port and L host a little bit better. So that was it for the video. If it did help, please leave a like, comment if you're stuck with anything. I'll be happy to help, and I will see you in the next video.